Hey, everybody, welcome in to the Farm to Table Show. We are live on Homestead Sunday. Hope you all will be joining us in here. Keith, I think, is having a little technical difficulties on his end, but we are here in place of Red Dirt Rooster Road, who is normally live at this time. Just came over from hanging out with Jack Dyer and a bunch of the gang over on Dyer Family Farm, and hope to be seeing you all very, very soon. Popping in here, hoping to see my brother popping in here pretty soon. But it is 9 a.m. in the morning in the Philippines where he's at. And anyway, hey, Rebecca Touched by Yarn, welcome in. Glad to see you. And but anyway, getting to hang out here on Sunday night. Like I said, taking the place of Red Dirt Rooster Road. They are having some family stuff going on and could not be here tonight, so they asked us to fill in, and so we're going to come in and hang out. We were just over on Dyer Family Farm. There's Robbie jumping in, and we're over on Dyer Family Farm and having car conversations and talking about some of our favorite things. What's up, Troy Sutton? Welcome in. Glad to have you with us, buddy. And anyway, yep. Uh, did your walls talk to me this weekend? No, Scotty, the walls did not talk. Let's see. Can we bring Keith in? Well, bro, let's see. Uh, let's see. He's not there yet. Hang on. Trying to get Keith in. Uh, see if we can get him in. He's like I said, having those technical difficulties, bro. All I got's a black screen. I don't know what's going on with you. Uh, So anyway, let me get this chat overlay there. Here we go. But yeah, no, the walls didn't talk this weekend. I don't know. As soon as Keith gets his camera figured out, it's all black there, bro. If you can hear it, keeps freezing. Yeah, I don't know. We're running into some technical difficulties. Of course, the weather's moving through different areas. Maybe I don't know. But no, Scotty, the walls didn't talk this weekend. And let's see if we can get this. I'm going to bring that off. Yeah, he's not, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, yeah, we're, the usual, I know what it is. It's Sunday night. It's used to me working in the morning. But anyway, so yeah, we did get to work this weekend on the house. We got finished buttoning up the countertops. The only countertop I got left is I got one on my wife's coffee bar. But anyway, so that's what we've been up to. And thanks, Troy, for bringing that up. Hey, Ed Kirkpatrick, glad to see you in, buddy. Yeah, Scotty, I know you're back home. I did see that earlier when we were over there on over on when it was on over at Dale 9 Acres. So I'm glad you're back home. But did they figure anything else? Let's see where we at. Hey there, Chris Dodge, y'all guys hanging out over there at Hippie Callier Homestead. Welcome in. And said, think the kid chopping the tree down the tree messed up his internet. Maybe that may be what happened. I don't know. He's I'm gonna have to see if we got anything going there. If he's got any other messages. Let's see. Yeah, it's the thing when you're overseas. Like that and trying to do live stream and everything else. So let's see. He's went out, so he may be able to come back in. Anyway, try to get Bro on here so we can catch up with what's going on in the Philippines. But okay so far, and at home, yes, that's good. Scotty, did they figure anything out, or is it still a mystery? Hey, Joy Bartlett, glad to see you in here. Glad you're all in. And anyway, yeah, we're just hanging out. Like I said, we were talking cars over on Dyer Family Farm. That turned into quite a conversation. Let's see. Okay, Keith, it is, bro. It is still a black screen. I don't know what's. Well, that's good that they did stop the internal bleeding. Okay, that's awesome stuff. Bro, I don't know what is going on with your internet over there, but it is not cool. Take you off there. Anyway, he's trying. So I'm glad to hear that, Scott. I'm glad they at least got that figured out. Got that part stopped. That's the dangerous part. And hey, Janae, welcome in. Glad to see you there. Let's see. Yeah. So anyway, yep, Keith's trying to come in. Bro, you're there, but it's black screen. I don't know what's going on. Um, he keeps trying to come in, and I want him in, and y'all want him in, but we can catch up on the Philippines because he did do a video, and yeah, um, over there about they were chopping down a tree with using a particular bow knife that they have over there. Is how they do. Power tools are a limited commodity over there, so they do everything with hand tools. And so anyway, bro, I don't know. I'm gonna take you back out of there because you are nothing but a black screen and no audio, no nothing. Uh, he's got some problems, but anyway, and I don't. Anyway, let me, bro, let me share. I know you're coming in. Let me share the link. And let's see. Let me see. I'll copy this. And in fact, I'm gonna put it over here, and we are gonna, and then we're gonna hit that over there, and let's see if we can pin that to the top. And okay, so that's pinned. So if we can't get bro in, we'll get somebody to come in. Try clicking in that way, bro, instead of coming in through the studio door. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Watching them climb, and I've watched them before where they scamper up them trees, and uh, they do that stuff and chop that down. That's you ain't gonna get me doing it. I barely can handle the going in the climbing up a ladder with a chainsaw or doing any of that stuff. That makes me nervous. Much less getting up there with basically what amounts to a type of machete. But anyway, so oh, let's see if they got that. Let's see. Anyway, okay, cool. We'll still be here for a while. Um, but yeah, like I said, I hope everybody's, like I said, I know Jack and them got some weather moving in the southeast part of Oklahoma, or southwest rather part of Oklahoma. And we've all had enough of this weather phenomenon. Weather's going on this year. But there we go. All right. Bro, it is still a black screen. So I don't know what is going on. And let's see, did my chat overlay? Where'd it go? Messing me up. Bring it in, bro. It's still, I don't know what's going on with it. Let's see. Undo. So yeah. Anyway, gotta love the old technical difficulties. And so yeah. Okay. I don't know, bro. What's going on? But anyway, well, guys, hey, yeah, yeah, it might have messed up his end. You might be right, Scott. I don't know. And he's probably he's probably seeing himself on his end. I know how that stuff happens. We've got even some of my stuff over here. I'm looking at it. It's been messed up a little bit. I think it's just doesn't know what to do with us being here on a Sunday. I think that's really it. It's hey, Donald and Lisa, glad to see you in. Money Pit, good to see you guys in. But anyway, those who watch the show or tune in and watch them later and everything, we just did last week. We've got a hot new show coming on tomorrow. It's it's step 5 in our self-reliance scale, which is strengthen your local roots or your local community. And we're going to be talking tomorrow about the 5-person circle, building your local network. 6 a.m. We'll be in there doing that. But anyway, this weekend, like I said, I was spent most of yesterday working in my kitchen, got the countertops secured to the cabinets, cleaned up a bunch of glue residue, and some other things like that. Got that done. Got my garbage disposals working. Everything's coming together on the kitchen nicely. And then I had to go help my son-in-law recover his Tahoe. It had, I think he's got an intake leak, but basically a real bad one. But it basically got oil down in the water down in the oil and was missing. And anyway, it one of those things that doesn't always go well when that happens. So we had to tow that, get that towed back up here to the property so we can start tearing into that. Hopefully here in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be there live, Scotty. I will be live in the morning. So I can't promise anything the rest of the week, but should be back to normal more often than not. We last week I had two people where I work out on vacation on my crew, and so that moved my start time up two spots and for what I do, and so that had me messed up all week. But they're back this week, supposed to be back this week, and so yeah, I should be able to be live most of the week as far as I know. But you know, you never know. It's a guess. But tomorrow I will be live, so you can tune in there and be there to turn the lights on. Though, Scotty, need you to be there with that. Let's see what Keith says. Okay, he's restarting. Okay. Hey, Keith just messaged me. He's trying to restart his stuff and try to get in. I don't know. It's yeah, gotta love technology. It's great that he's all the way over there and can come in and join us. But when it works, but when it don't work, well, it's problematic. But anyway, so let me see. We've had man, it's weird being up. Normally, I'm off by this time. I'll hang out with Monty and Michelle for a little while, and then I'm usually headed off to close out my Sunday evening. But instead, hey, tonight I get to hang out with y'all guys, and I was hoping Bro would be in so we can maybe get some updates from things in the Philippines and talk about his little video. He'll get here with us pretty soon. Um, but anyway, so Scotty, I'm glad. I know you were having to move as well. Bad timing for all of that, but hopefully that, like I said, we're praying, continue to pray that works out. Let's see, who else is up in here? We got a whole crew. Uh, Ed, I think you seen Ed Kirkpatrick in, and I seen Chris and Dodge. Um, anyway, that the link is pinned up there. If somebody wants to join in and hang out, y'all can feel free to. If not, I understand. It's not not as exciting as some of the others, but anyway, we'll see what it is. Hopefully, Bro gets in here pretty soon. Um, but anyway, the for those of us that are Arkansas Razorback fans, we punched our ticket to the College World Series today, beating the Tennessee Volunteers 2 games straight. So yeah, good day to be a Razorback fan. But anyway, that's my sports cap for the day right there. Um, got to mow some grass today, which was surprising, but because I really figured I was going to get rained out. But anyway, we have a property over in Oklahoma that was my mother-in-law's. And working on hats. So anyway, I got over and mowed that down today. And what was it hot? But for those who don't know, you can go over and check out Hippocallia Homestead on Facebook or on the YouTube. Chris makes custom hats. Gets these hats and burns in designs and stuff on them. It's pretty cool. So yeah, you can go check that out. She makes some pretty cool hats. And yes, Robbie, Woo Pig Suey. That's right. Woo Pig. And so yeah, we're anyway kind of I was earlier when we were on with Donald and Lisa on Money Pit. Robbie and I were both. He was watching, I think, and I had it on phone app so I could listen to it because I listen to radio broadcast. That's how I like to. Oh, now you calling me. Yeah, Woo Pig Suey. There we go. No, we wouldn't call you a pig. No. But anyway, that's what we get to do here. A lot of fun. Enjoy hanging out with you guys. And the little jokes, and we can always count on our Scotty is our court jester on the Farm to Table show. So we enjoy having him in there, keeping us laughing and keeping us on our toes. But anyway, I know Keith said he was restarting, so hopefully that gets bumped back up and he's able to get back in here. But anyway, let's see. So he can help me out. But anyway, let's see. Da, 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 da. Oh, anyway. Oh, that's funny. Watching the chat kind of keeps me cracking up over here. But anyway, so oh, there he is. Let's see if we got him in here. Oh, hey, look who is here.
Can
I
you
was,
hear me?
we can hear you. We can see you. You're 5 by 5.
Live.
That's it. Welcome in.
Yeah, sometimes the magic computer restart works really well. Other
Some,
times it don't.
yeah. So,
But I think it might have been something else. I think it was my VPN. You know, part of living over here, some services you can't get unless you get your VPN, or else they'll lock you out because they just simply don't trust people. You know, yeah, something like that. But anyway, good to see everybody.
Right, no kidding, man. We've been over here talking. Yeah, you took that off so you get a little bit better view. That's okay. I think we're all on YouTube in here tonight anyway. So, in fact, I know we are. Everybody that's been in has been YouTube. At
I don't
least,
know. We got a like from the Boondocks over on Facebook, so
oh,
I know
okay.
they were watching over there. So
Oh, okay, good deal, good deal. Of course, I don't get to
anyway,
see,
so catch me up. What's been going on over here?
man.
Tablers unite. Hello,
It's
Scotty,
yeah,
Robbie,
Scotty's back home. They got
Chris.
his internal bleeding stopped, and
Oh, good.
let's see, Chris and Dodge. They've been in and out on some of the lives today. We were, of course, Donald and Lisa with Money Pits in, and me and Scotty were celebrating the fact that the Razorback baseball team punched their ticket to the College World Series today. So we're yeah,
Aha. All
and
right. Hello,
Joy.
Joy.
Yeah, she said she loved the tree chopping video. So they were
Oh
talking about
yeah, that's bizarre. I was hoping Terry would be in here because I wanted him to see that.
yeah. When we were when you were having trouble getting in, Scotty was like, "I'll pull that up." He said, "I think the kid chopping down the tree messed up his internet."
I
uh,
had to kind of get out from underneath it because I was thinking, well, accidents could happen, if they
yeah, I remember
cut it
hearing it.
the wrong
But
way and I'm under it videoing it. Might not be a good outcome. But anyway, yeah, I got another video that you might have seen it. It's the honey video.
I don't know if I have or not. I haven't been
Okay,
on.
so it's the first time that I've ever eaten wild honey off of a tree.
Oh wow, okay,
And um, while those guys were up there cutting the tree down, actually they were just topping it, is what they were doing.
right,
Um, they had a swarm that was up there close to where that was a son and a dad operation going on there. The
okay,
young boy was actually the son. So anyway, I said, well, I can't really make out what it is up there. Well, later, after everything's on the ground and they're done, my wife comes walking in with a beehive
right.
wrapped around one of the branches, is a small stick and everything.
Okay.
But let me see if I can reach over. You think maybe I could share that with you guys?
Well, you can try.
I can see what I got here.
Yeah, see if you can
I
pull it in or not.
have a tab open.
But
So anyway, you guys go on. I'll see what I can find here in the background.
well, we're just catching up with you, man. I mean, that's I sitting over here just floundering around trying to make small talk while you were figuring out your
While
internet.
I was figuring out, yeah.
But I was over hanging out with Jack and the crowd over there before, and had a pretty good sized panel going over there. But we were having car conversations. So
Oh, tonight's
start,
top
yeah,
cars.
well, it started out on Wild Huckleberry. Some guy, one of the guys in the chat over there, asked about American muscle cars and what our first car was that we owned, and that got it started. And then when we went over to Jack's, we just kind of, I don't know, it kind of pulled conversation kind of carried over, I guess. I don't know. It kind of got talking cars and different trucks. And Johnny Gillum heard we were talking on cars, and he was in there in the chat, and he jumped on. Next thing you know, of course, Janae and Rebecca and Robbie, and we had a bunch. And then the chat was blowing up with people talking about different vehicles. So yeah, it was our. That's what's been going on tonight, talking about cars.
Well, that's right up your alley for sure.
It was fun. And of course, then Jack and Dina, they got storms moving through their area, so they were worried about losing
Man,
power. And
is it ever going to end?
I don't know, but and did find out, kind of got a little clarification. Remember Friday we were concerned about Jack, and yeah, what was his stepdad?
Yeah, what's going on?
They had been down in Texas. Um, that's why the videos were coming from a different place. They'd been down there prior to him passing, and they came home to take care of things, and they're going back this week for the viewing and funeral. But, and he's still not 100%. But, sounded better tonight than he did Friday for sure.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but he's still.
Did he feel any better? Because I know even though he sounded bad, and I think last week he was talking
Yeah,
about, he didn't really feel it,
right. Yeah, I mean, he could tell he was still, I mean, it's all the traveling and being up in the hospital and all the different things, not getting sleep and all that has kind of worn on him a bit. But yeah, he was doing good. Uh, overall, I mean, just a tough time for him right now. So.
So
Yeah,
I've got this hooked up, and I want to share it to you because I was tickled to death about. Let me bring up Joy Bartlett before I
yeah,
do
bring
that.
that up. Yeah,
Yeah. So my dad went hunting and found a wild beehive, came home and got containers and brought home some really good honey. And that was what was really cool is because here I've been on a search for honey.
right,
They've got a bad habit when they say raw honey here and they sell it in the market. They've added things like preservatives, like citric acid, that sort of thing, and it has this different taste to it. And I said, this don't really taste like the raw honey at home. And so I thought, could it be just because of the local, um, you know, flowers and plants that they pollinate. Um, and But then I did some research, and it said no, they have a problem with that. And I said, well, that's probably what it is. So I've been reaching out, and I wanted to talk to a lady who claims on Facebook that her honey is raw, uncooked, and I tend to believe her. But I wanted to know my source. I wanted to talk to them. I wanted to get the process, kind of getting, know your source, right?
right,
What we've
absolutely,
got 1,000 times. And anyway, she kind of refused and kind of danced around you know, my several attempts to, you know, I'll go to your place of business. I just want to talk to you or whatever.
right,
But anyway, she said, oh, you can just buy there. You can just go online and buy it.
right.
Okay, all right. So never mind. Maybe, which happens here a lot. Some of them, they say they get a nosebleed when they try to speak English.
Well,
So yeah, it's
yeah,
a very common thing. So that might have been why she was doing that. But anyway, I want to see if I can reach over there and grab this video real quick.
yeah. See if we can share it. Yeah. Yeah, just he said, go with your gut. Yeah. Oh, here
All
we go.
right, here we go.
Yeah. Okay.
See if I can play that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're looking at here is from the tree earlier is they were saying that there were bees flying around. Well, here's a beehive that was from that. Now, I will show you. I've been looking for natural honey, and turns out there was some behind our house here. Um,
Wow, it's
I want to try it.
good.
Here, you take this and watch me try it.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, mmm, natural. That's a good little honeycomb right there.
Yeah.
I like it. Anyway, guys, I wanted to show you my experience over here. Pretty cool. Okay.
That's cool stuff, man. I hadn't been on, so I hadn't seen it come up. So.
Well, I haven't released it yet. Actually,
Oh.
it's private right now, and
Oh. Okay.
so anyway, it was surprisingly really really good. And I said, "Now that's honey." And oh, by the way, we ate that entire thing in one setting last
Well, I
night.
bet. Yeah. It's like you
I mean,
can't
it
stop.
wasn't huge, you know. It was
Yeah,
probably
but you
about
can't. You can't
seven,
stop.
8 inches long or
You
whatever.
can't
But
stop. I mean, you remember when we were kids, and they had the beehives out there on the trailer out there at Granny and Pappy's. You know. Uh, yeah, man. Once you got some of that honeycomb, you were going to eat every bit of it, man. Uh,
yeah, actually, I walked away from it. Made another video that was kind of telling Justin Scott with Sweet
oh,
Stingers and Monty Shrunk with the Suburban Sidebuster to eat their heart out, you know. But I didn't release that one. But
Yeah, I've seen that one too.
anyway, yeah, I felt proud of that. You know, wow,
Right,
I finally found it, and it was in my backyard. You know,
right,
way up in a tree, but and I would have never found it unless they cut or pruned that tree.
right. Yeah,
Healthy antibodies in royal jelly and the cone. Thank you very much for that. I knew it was healthy. I,
right,
I and then you know, I kind of believe this. I've heard several times that you should eat honey wherever you live,
right. At the local. Yeah,
right? And I suppose that it can help you with your immune system to the local pollens and that sort of thing. Is kind of what I understood. But
well, that's
anyway, let's hope so because I have definitely had a couple of bouts with getting sick. I always do every time I come over here. It's like in a whole different biome over here. So
right.
anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So yeah, that was my experience yesterday. Happy to find it. I just wish that they would make more. But there was a part of me that said maybe I ought to just keep it over here and let those bees continue to thrive around here. You
right,
know, and I hope that they remake that hive again because we want them to pollinate our plants that we've got growing out there.
right, right. But yeah, that's they here just the other day there was a guy, a local guy here that was I guess he was selling out of the hobby. It was more than he thought, but he had several hives and several bit of stuff, and it wasn't even a bad price. And for about a second, I considered it. Yeah, maybe, but probably not right now. Yeah, because it's a time dedication, to taking care of them, getting them going. But as far as actually growing the hives and stuff, but you know, and I mean, I even know where I would put it. I would get far enough away from the house that it's not a problem to the house, but
Yeah,
but I've got so many other flying, stinging, biting things up here. I don't know if I need to add.
right. So that points out that if we ever get ourselves into a project and we feel like we're over our head, like beehives,
Right,
um, being a part of a community like this is really nice because you can reach out to people that you've met and say, hey, I'm experiencing a thing, and most likely they'd be more than happy to help. So
it's
um,
funny you talk about that about who to talk to and stuff, and because the business idea that I talked to you about. Part of that is you got to have a water tank, and you know, I can go down to Tractor Supply or any number of places and buy, 40 gallon, 50 gallon, whatever water tank, but they're all clear or yellow and stuff like that. You can't find them black that are horizontal. They're all vertical that are black, and it's like, that
oh,
won't
yeah.
work. And it's like, and I would have never cared or known until we started talking to like Terry and Lorraine and different ones on rainwater catchment, you know, and understanding that the black keeps the algae out, and the clear and all those will get algae in the tank. So it's like, so it's like now I'm trying to find a black, trying to find, hey, there's Greg, Duncan Family Farm. How you doing,
Hey,
buddy?
Greg Duncan.
Yeah,
That's my homeboy, Greg
right.
Duncan.
There you go. But
That's me.
anyway, now knowing that, I want to, try to find a black tank so I don't have to worry about algae getting, you know, uh,
Yeah.
but I don't know that with what I'm wanting to do, it would hurt anything. But
Well, does it? I mean, I think a lot of people paint them, don't they?
I think some people may do, and that's part of what I'm going to do. Because I did want to do those small things, but a lot of that,
Hang on just a minute, bro. Let
yep,
me
we got
let
some
me
more.
turn me down just a little because I continue to be hot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a little quieter. Yeah.
Okay, how about that?
Yeah, I can hear you. So, but
Okay, I can hear
everybody's
you better now too.
But
So
yeah, so you're right though. But it comes, what you were talking about, and to that point was, it comes from being around this community and learning, so many things and picking up so much information. Um, even simple little things like that, that it's like, okay, uh, learning, just picking up pieces of knowledge that, it needs to be this or it needs to be that, you know. Uh, and same thing, like you said, with bees or, herbal medicines or goats or, yeah, whatever it may be. We know who to find because we hang in this community. So, yeah, it's,
Yeah, yeah, that's really true. My wife again last night reminded me whenever I was picking the okra. She said, you would have never known to eat raw okra that it was good just straight off the vine after you've washed it, and no cooking or anything like that. And I said, yeah, yeah, that's really true. As a matter of fact, I've got to go out there and pick them again today.
yeah,
So,
there,
um,
yeah,
but I've been doing a little experiment here. We had some friends over last week,
okay.
and we were eating dinner.
Wait, wait,
Uh,
wait, what? Wait, you got friends?
yeah, I got a couple.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe they want something. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I bet.
You got friend when you got something that they want, you always got friends.
There you go.
Um, but I asked them. I said, "Have you ever eaten okra raw?" And they never have. And I thought, well, that's interesting because coming from a place like this, and vegetables are a thing here. And of course, we live close to the ocean, so you can get all the ocean goods here. Um, but they've got a farm, and I thought, oh, they're the perfect people to ask. Do you do that? And of course, I was looking for local farm sources too, so that was like, maybe, just maybe, I can uh, get something there, started. But anyway, they had never done that. And then that brings up something else that I thought about. Um, Now, food grows over here like crazy.
Right,
You can throw a seed on the ground, and I think the ground would swallow it up and grow something right there where it fell in the ground.
right,
And and your growing season really is year round here because we're in a tropical zone.
right,
And uh, so one of the things that, I don't want to be disrespectful at all, but one of the things that I've always been fascinated with was, poverty, especially, in countries like, that I'm in right now, and wondered why, that was a thing, was it lack of education or whatever. But I've often wondered, if you're hungry and you can put a seed in the ground, why don't you do that? And I
right.
find that most people around here, at least in the city, they don't really grow anything.
Hmm.
They're just depending on
The supply chain.
a little bit of money they make on a daily basis to go out and buy something from the market. But put a seed in the ground and grow stuff. And I don't know why that is.
Yeah. Got a Facebook listener, Edward Braden, come in and just said, just started listening where you're located. Um, I'll pull that up so we can see it. But um, anyway, well, I'm in western Arkansas, and Keith is normally in eastern Oklahoma, but
That's right.
currently in the Philippines, enjoying a summer siesta uh,
Yeah, something like that. An experiment, if you will.
experiment, so to speak. But anyway, so that's where we're at. And Edward, glad to have you in. Hope you stick around. Um, but anyway,
Where are you from, Edward?
where are you located? Yeah.
Where are you, Edward? If that's your real name. Anyway,
But anyway, yeah, it is funny like that. You would think. I mean, it's that simple, you know. But I mean, you've talked about it before about mindset, you know. Uh,
hmm
and we have the same problem here. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it might hide itself because economical differences in countries, but it's the same thing. I mean, think about how many people here, if they, you know, have never grown a thing in their life. You know, I mean, you know, Northeast Kansas. Okay, all right.
okay, kind of neighbors. Northeast, though.
Yeah,
little difference there.
that's up a little further north. He's up closer to up there closer to Nebraska and the Iowa corner
Mhm.
and all that up there. But yeah,
Close enough, though.
yeah, close
Close
enough.
wise, you know.
Yeah, so to speak. Yeah, you gotta,
Still
anyway,
those border lines there.
right. Yeah, it's they grow things a little different up there, but they grow. um, actually, it's funny. Like any state, there's different sides of it, and you think of Kansas. I mean, most people think Kansas, they think of plains and flat, and, you know, and I mean, I'm not gonna say they got mountains or anything like that, but there are some places over there that are non-plain or green, got valleys and stuff like that, and yeah, it's uh, but anyway, uh, Joyce, one word, sovereignty. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and go ahead, bro, with your topic there, but I'll go back to sovereignty here in a second.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say it's like and driving through that part of Kansas, heading up to Nebraska and other places like that. I mean, it's like you can see a little bit there. I mean, it's farmland. There's a lot of farm country out there. I mean, but I mean, it's not wide open. You get on the western side, you get over on some of the other parts of the state, and it is wide open. See it. I always just joke. It's like you can see the Rockies from here. Yeah, but nothing to stop you. But no, it's spent a lot of time driving through there. But anyway, back to sovereignty, bro. That's what I picked that back up.
Right. You know, to me, there's some concepts that's missing. I'll kind of go back and I'll tie it back into sovereignty. But um, here, um, and I don't want to say it too loud because I got my window open right there in front of me. But here, they follow their government a lot more. And what I mean by that is, I'm not talking about anarchy or anything crazy like that. But what I mean is that they don't think, or at least a large percentage. I can't speak, overall, but a large percentage here, like back when the C word was a thing, they just followed. I mean, they just went in lockstep. Most of them didn't question the government. They didn't do anything like that. And as a matter of fact, in the past, whenever I've spoken out against something that I seen that was going on that offended my American senses, if you will,
Right,
uh, I my wife would almost reach over and cover my mouth and say, "Don't say that out loud," that kind of thing,
right,
And so their sovereignty here is a little different than ours, and their attitude toward some of that is a little bit different. And um, and a lot of times I see that they don't take it upon themselves to be the problem solver, which is really, there's some amazing things here, which is something else we can get into later, and that's child labor.
right,
Um, but um, but here they look outside themselves for the solution.
right,
I see that like way too often, and I'm thinking, God gave us all like some capital to start with. It might not be financial capital, but we got a brain, we got
right,
a couple of hands. We could use them, right?
right,
And so, I try to teach that as much as possible, but sometimes you never know if anything sticks or not. I've spoken with a lot of people here, starting with my own, close family here.
right,
But yeah, that's something that I see going on is they look outside themselves as opposed to looking inside themselves as the ultimate solution.
right,
The independence and sovereignty that we have as an individual,
right.
um, kind of doesn't play out here. What do we got going on with Joy over here?
Well, she was just saying, she was anyway. Her sister Christine still got the feeding tube, major operation coming up on it. So definitely keep that in her prayers. Definitely will.
We
So,
sure will.
and sorry to hear that, but yeah, that's always tough. The medical issues are, especially when it gets severe, it's just a whole other thing. But and bro, you were talking about that. It's as far as that attitude, and how much have we begun to see that? Not to get too blue, but how much have we begun to see that creeping into our own society over here? Nobody wants to accept responsibility for anything. They just want to, point a finger at somebody else and you know, say, "Take care of me," instead of you know. Because how many times have we said it? You are your own best help,
Yeah, that's right.
and but um, so I don't know. I think it's not to get too awful heavy, but yeah, it is it's a mindset, and things that offend us as Americans, you know, is normal business somewhere else, and they just don't think much of it. But I've always said it's like despite all the problems, I mean, generally speaking, life is still valued, here as an overall society, life is here. But
Mhm.
outside of the United States, life is cheap. Mhm.
Well, I've experienced that here also. Is that, and this is good for an American audience to hear because sometimes we take it for granted the things that we've got going on in America, the good things, and even on our worst day, we're not as bad as some places. And I would say that even this place is not as bad as other places.
Right,
But um, but we take it for granted how well, and I don't want to get too heavy off into politics or anything, but Western societies,
right,
people really take for granted that things are going to be on the store shelf, for example,
right,
just about all the time. But so, um, but even over here, some of American ideas have creeped in over here also.
right.
Um,
Well, there's a lot of
but,
a lot of y'all that stay over there, or live over there quite a bit. So
right. So, independence and that sort of thing is less than in America. So
right,
we really got it good.
right.
We really got it good.
Well, tell us. I mean, we got a video of you eating honey, and we got a video of watching somebody take a tree down. Uh,
Mm.
uh, what you been up to? Fun? Yeah,
Oh, fun. Outside of that,
yeah,
well, I've got a little bit of um, before I answer that, I want to go back to this because it reminds me of something.
right,
America has lost its way, doesn't know its creator. Okay, listen. One of the things that maybe they say over here is that they're just going to depend on God, right? And um, and that's something. This is mostly a Catholic nation here, but I think when you live in poverty for a while, it creates a different perspective on things.
right,
Okay, and this idea of just simply depending on God every day when you get up, it's not wrong per se, but what about taking action? In other words, something that you see going on, and you should take action on either preventing it or doing something about it, like growing a garden, growing some fruits, growing some plants, whatever, vegetables. Um, but America's really high on independence.
right. So,
And one of the issues that we've got is that yes, independence, as long as you're not dependent, independent from God. Does that
right.
make sense?
Well, it's what we've been talking about on the show, the morning show, the last few weeks, with the 7 steps to self reliance. That it's a uh, it's a mindset, but it's not independence; it's interdependence. And
Right.
uh, Abraham Lincoln said, "The best land you have, you can make livings." Yeah, if you have land, you can make a living, and that is true. And at a time that was considered the most honorable of profession, the most honorable of things was working land and growing from the land and producing from the land. And I think that's something that's, hopefully making a comeback. But it's, like I said, it's interdependence, not independence.
Right.
I mean, as a free, choice, uh, and I would agree with you, Edward. I mean, in a lot of ways, I don't know that it's. I always wonder, sometimes I don't know if it's America as a whole because I've traveled around the country and I've met good, honest, God fearing people everywhere I've went. I've met the other two. Don't get me wrong, I have, but I think our mainstream, whatever media, and I think what we see on TV and what we hear in the news reports and stuff often taints our vision of what is really going on because it's like an ER. All they show us is the worst, you know, and that um, we have that, that really everywhere I've traveled, you know, there
Right.
are, there are people who are, like I said, God fearing, honest, good people, that are just trying to do the best they can in the situation they've got and get by, like most of us. And I have, and I know you're over there, and I hadn't been in the Far East in many moons, but I used to, I said this a lot about when I was over in the Middle East. You know, most people, generally speaking, they want to be able to provide for their, as men anyway, want to be able to provide for their family, live in peace, worship their God, whatever they see that as, whatever their religion is, but worship as they see fit, raise their family the way they want to raise their family, and otherwise be left alone. And that's just generally something I have found no matter where I've went. But it's the perspective of what does that look like, you know, um,
Right.
and so I mean, I think that's so I see that wherever I went around the country, and I've been to all the only state I haven't been to is Hawaii. So and I've been all around the country, and while there may be you know some that are not, but there's more that are. I always say the people in the Northeast are some of the most misunderstood people in the country. Uh, yeah, because of the way they do business and the way they move and the way they handle things, and they come across a certain way. But reality is, there's a lot of good people that live up there, and so I don't know. My two
So,
cents on
so yeah, back to what you're saying, I just want to throw in there basically in America with the media, it's the tail wagging the dog, basically.
right.
And even over here, I would say that that's true. Um, Joy Bartlett is asking, what
Yeah,
foods do they grow commercially? Oh goodness, might be easier to name what they don't grow here. Um, but you mean commercially, like internationally? They are very well known for their bananas. They're very well known for their um, mango. They've got wonderful mango, very sweet, really, really a nice tasting mango. So their mangoes are probably transported, but probably only in the Asian markets, really. I mean, you could probably find like banana chips or maybe even mango chips or something like that um, uh, that might wind up in America. But I think we get, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but most of the type of fruits that we get in America, bananas, mangoes, that sort of thing, all come out of South America, possibly Mexico or South America. Um, Maybe it's a distance thing, probably because we're literally halfway around the planet
right.
where I'm at, and about 7 degrees north of the equator. Um, yeah, fruits are um, really good here, and that would be absolutely correct, Joy. Fruits are the commercial thing here, and they've got a lot of different fruits that I had never seen here. Now, one of the things that might wind up in America in the Asian markets from the Philippines is durian.
It's what
Durian. Do you know durian?
I do not.
So durian is one of the most pungent, repulsive, smelling, tasting fruits I've ever had the displeasure of tasting. I'll tell you a little story. So when I'm first coming to the Philippines, we're in a place called Magsaysay Park, which is a park right on the ocean, and um, and my now wife at that time, we were just acquaintances, but um, she gave me a durian shake. And when you first meet somebody, that like you don't want to offend anyone,
Right.
and you're in somebody else's country, you really don't want to offend their local senses, in any way. But as soon as I put that pungent taste in my mouth, I instantly said, "Don't ever put that in my mouth again." I mean, it just brought that visceral response. But anyway, you might find that in the U.S.
Right.
Let's
I'm
see
gonna
what
pull
we
that up. I want to pull Edward's comment up. No, oh,
okay.
you're great snacks. Good travel. Yeah,
Yeah, they are,
yeah,
and they're really delicious.
right. Edward said, I traveled the U.S. as a truck driver in the past. Found the central third of the U.S. to have the most heart-filled people in the nation. I won't disagree with you. But anyway, now off the road at about 5 years from retiring. It says not letting me share it all up there. Anyway, says about 5 years from retiring, I've managed to save 20 acres of the family farm, and I'm slowly taking it out of traditional production and planting it to more permanent crops in order to prepare to come home full time. Uh, Edward, sounds like you're one of our people. Uh, um,
Yeah,
one as a truck driver myself, and that's a large part of how I traveled the U.S. Myself, and um, the you know, like I said, I mean, as far as concentration, the central, the middle of the country, yeah, I would say as population goes, you're probably right. Um, hey, E&D Livestock, welcome in, guys. And anyway, I would agree with that. And now, as far as I got a few more years, I'm driving local now, so I mean, I work from home, local, trying to find a way out of that truck as fast as I can. But anyway, um, but it's cool that you were able to save that and are going to a more sustainable or more resilient uh, or regenerative way of growing the crop versus the commercial. I'm assuming that was traditional production. I'm assuming it was some type of commercial type planting and that type of thing. But that is awesome stuff. Hope you follow and subscribe because that's what we talk a lot about uh,
yeah,
food. Homesteading, traditional, regenerative versus row traditional stuff, and kind of all those things combined, wrapped up. Right now, we're working through a series on our show. We do it at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. We're live at 6 a.m. on the Farm to Table Show on YouTube and Facebook and X and Rumble. But anyway, and right now we're on step 5 starting this week, but 7 steps to self reliance. And but anyway, so hope you join us with that. I mean, because that sounds like one of our people, and yeah, I mean, Keith and I grew up in the center of I mean, here in Oklahoma, Arkansas area, and so yeah, and I've traveled all around the world and ended up coming right back, you know, right back here close, right by home. But
mhm.
and so yeah, I
It's a
would
good
agree.
place to be.
Good place to be. And now that I've moved into the mountains of the South Ozarks, yeah, love it. But anyway, um, but
Yeah.
yeah,
So I just want to
yeah,
welcome in Donald and Lisa
yeah,
from
absolutely. If they've been in
Connecticut.
and out, they were here. Yeah, they were here
Oh, were
early.
they here?
Yeah,
Okay, I just didn't see
so
them.
good to see them. Yeah, um,
Yeah, I love mangoes too. I don't know if I've had mangoes from different places. I have not tasted one better
mm,
than here in the Philippines.
wow,
They are really, really sweet, and they just have that kind of tangy
yeah.
taste that I really love. So, um,
Well, is Tuck? I'm going to ask E&D. Is Tuck up and about? Now school's out, so I mean, is he? Is he up and about, or is he hiding out for the night? But yeah, normally when he comes in the morning, Tuck ain't awake yet. But anyway, uh, for those who don't know, I mean, if y'all never met E&D, go check them out. One, they're super awesome people, and they were at uh,
Yeah, they were at.
a couple of years ago. We met them, and uh, anyway, we had Tuck and him on the set, and totally cool and good to meet them, and hope to get to see them again somewhere else. But anyway, so go check
Yeah,
them out there at E&D Livestock Farms. Anyway, um,
yeah. Just wanted to mention this from Joy. She said
yeah,
she loves the reddish ones. They seem to be more juicy. Um, you got to try the Philippine yellow ones.
hmm.
Those are, yeah, those are really good.
Said he's camping with Papa. That's with Papa. That's good stuff right there.
Ah, yeah, that is. Yeah, that's sweet.
But anyway, so yeah, it's anyway, that's it's funny. Like I said, you get things when you can when you're in a place where you can get them fresh, or you get them right there where it's grown. You know, uh, I golly, it's been many moons ago, but I got to have fresh lobster uh, in Monterey, California,
Oh,
and
nice. Yeah.
got that right off, caught right off the ocean right there, and ruined it. I've had it's just like yeah, it ruined me because it's like it's
Yeah,
just
what I forget what kind they have out there, but they're a little bit different than the
it's
East
not the
Coast.
rock main. It's not the rock main like the rock main. It's not that
Yeah.
it is different, but I mean it's still delicious. And I mean, like I said, we were right there on the Fisherman's Wharf, at the restaurant. So I mean, literally, it was right there, and uh,
Yeah.
so that thing hadn't been stuck in a tank and shipped across the country and everything else, and or frozen and
Yeah.
what's that?
I
How
got
do I say this? The the lobster place that
uh,
everybody knows, the chain lobster place. Okay. Uh, a tail will cost you 20-30 bucks for the meal, right? I got the whole lobster, clam chowder, the bread, the whole package for 20 bucks.
what century was that in?
Well, believe it or not, it was still this century. That was in 2003. So, I mean, it's been 22 years ago, but I don't know what it would be now. Oh, he said camping and fishing. That little boy's living on cloud nine. Yeah, he's doing what boys should be doing. That's what
That's
he's doing.
right. Yeah.
Uh, doing what little
Yeah,
boys should be doing.
that's good stuff right
Yeah.
there.
And need more tackle boxes and less X boxes. That's what
Right. I agree. Bro, it's about 2 minutes till the top of
it
the
is.
hour.
It's about time to get out of
Well,
here.
about three and a half, 2.5, whatever.
Uh,
Um,
I do love mango. Travel from Vietnam. One's from Publix. They're made into strips, sort of dried for traveling. Cool.
Vitamins.
Yeah, get the
Yeah,
vitamin.
Vietnam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that.
I'm drinking Vietnam coffee right now, and there's one that I really like that's from there, and it's called Baracco. And I just said, I love this coffee. It's a shame that it's called Baracco.
Ah, ha, ha, ha. Well,
So
I'm
I'm
sure.
gonna have to rename that. I don't know what I'll name it. Trump coffee. Sorry, didn't mean to go political, guys.
Whoops, oops. But anyway,
Oops.
uh, uh, I don't know what MPP is, but I don't know what that is. But I get that a lot. I've got one of them faces, and I'm sure I've got some twins out there somewhere. But doppelgangers, if you might say. But
Maybe a doppelganger. Yeah.
yeah, there might be one or two out there, and like I said, who knows? But
So, bro, before we
yeah,
get out of here, real quick, kind of pitch tomorrow's show. Tell us what
tomorrow's
we're going to be
show.
talking about tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow's show, 6 a.m. Right here is the 5-person circle, building your local network. It's part of step 5, which is strengthen your local roots or build your local community. Resilient local community is kind of the way they did it. Anyway, the theme basically is real security isn't isolation; it's interdependence with the right people. So,
That's right.
Midwest
Keyword,
Preparedness.
right people. Yeah,
Yeah. No,
absolutely.
Edward, I haven't, but I will. You know what? I will have to go check that out. Midwest Preparedness Project. Don't make me a little note here. I got my little notepad here, but
Midwest Preparedness Project.
want to find out.
Edward, are you a recruiter?
And if you were,
Let's
great
see.
guys. But anyway, I will not, but I will. I wrote that down, and I will check that out. But anyway, but no, I'm not. But I will. I will go check that out. Curious. Now you got
I hadn't heard of
got
it.
my picked up. But anyway, yes, thank you, Janae, for all the little links and chats and all the little things you do over there. And but anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. Yeah, but tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. right here on the Farm to Table Show. And that's what we're talking about tomorrow. And like I said, this week is step 5, which is strengthen your local roots or build your local resilient community. And like I said, tomorrow's the 5-person circle. And so,
Big part of it right there.
huge part of it is your circle. So anyway, so look forward to seeing anybody that comes in the morning. And bro, hope I'll see you in. Well, let's see, it is your morning now, so see it in your evening.
Yep.
But anyway, I've got to get off here and close out the weekend. So
Yeah,
thank you,
and
everybody.
thanks to I just want to let everybody know, just real quick before we get off, this
Yeah.
is Monty and Michelle's spot that we took tonight, and I just want everybody to know that they reached out to us, and this is their normal spot. Please come back and see them next week, next
Yep.
Sunday,
8 o'clock.
at 8 o'clock every Sunday. As a matter of fact, if you want to roll some of that off and tell people about it, who to expect and at what time on Homestead Sunday.
Yeah, that's well, let me see. 3 o'clock, I think that's when we got Simple Acre. 5 o'clock is Money Pit Homestead. 6 o'clock is the Wild Huckleberry, and 7 o'clock is Dyer Family Farm, and 8 o'clock is Red Dirt Rooster Road. That
With
is the
Ted
Homestead
and Monty.
with Monty and Michelle. And
Yeah.
anyway, as far as on that, so that is the lineup that happens on Sundays. And like I said, we are just filling in a slot. We're not normally live on Sunday nights. So anyway, they're off enjoying some family stuff. So anyway, hopefully, like I said, they'll be back next week. So y'all make sure y'all tune into them and all the others that are in here. And anyway, guys, thanks. Thanks for so much for joining us here on the Farm to Table Show with our live. And let me see, where was I going? I was going somewhere. Yeah, hashtag stronger together. Thank you. Hashtag think outside the big box store, shop local, and a few other dozen hashtags that we always forget. But anyway, so uh, yeah, we aren't as up as early school being lined up for shows posted anywhere. I don't. I usually don't put them out till I set up the notification the night before usually. So oh yeah, Simple Acre Homestead at 3. Thought I said it, but maybe I didn't. But anyway, um, so yeah, Simple Acre at 3, and then takes a break. But anyway, yeah, hopefully catch up and see you soon. I love seeing you guys jump in. But anyway, so yeah, thanks to everybody that did that. We're gonna get on out of here, and
Hank, what's Hank?
Hank, we're gonna let Hank take us on out of here. Be a blessing to someone, even if it's just a smile. And we will see you all on the other side.
No humans were harmed in the production of this podcast.